In Doctrine and Covenants, section 78, verse 6, it says, "For if ye are not equal in earthly things, ye cannot be equal in obtaining heavenly things." So, God is not a communist or a socialist, and God is not entirely a capitalist either. My belief is that in the ideal economy, in God's economy, people aren't driven by the profit motive, so it's not capitalism. They're driven to build the kingdom of God and to love their fellow human beings, like it says in the New Testament and in the Book of Mormon, in the Book of Jacob, that before they seek for riches, they're going to seek the kingdom of God, and they will seek for riches to bless the poor and to bless the poor and to do good. So there's no so that's not the profit motive. It's you're sustaining your needs and you're helping others, and that's the motive in God's ideal economy. So it doesn't jive great with capitalism, where the profit motive is an important thing, right? But it also doesn't jive well with socialism because it requires free will. The people are doing that out of free will, and not because they're forced to do it by the state. So this section in general is more counsel about the United Order, the United Firm, which was an experiment that the Latter-day Saints did, where they would give the bishop their property, and then the bishop would distribute the property based on people's needs and responsibilities. And usually it was just the bishop would give people back their property, would just sign it back over as a stewardship. No, it was a voluntary arrangement. People weren't forced, and they could leave the United Firm. So it's not communism, because people aren't being forced to do it by a state, and they can opt out. Without the free will motivating the sharing of the resources, the goods, and the services, it becomes slavery. It becomes a twisted form of sharing. It's not charity if you're forced to do it. It's not kindness. You don't get credit in heaven if you're being forced to do it. Consequently, achieving God's ideal government ideal economic system is a matter of preaching more than policy. And it's preaching accompanied by freedom, right? Enough freedom to act and to make choices. You have to be able to choose to do what's right. And then it's the preaching and teaching people what is right and helping persuade people that they want to build the kingdom of God more than they want the luxuries, or more than they want to have something more than someone else, more than they want the selfishness. It's helping root out that selfishness. So God's not a capitalist, but he's also not a communist either, not a socialist.